My earliest remembrance of Sri Satguru Jagjeet Singh Ji was when I was in year 4. So I believe I must have been around 7 years old. And all I remember was my parents said, oh yeah, Satguru Ji is going to come to our house at 4 o'clock. So just before Asa Diwar. And you can imagine how excited I was because I had seen Yasachya Pasha Ji's picture on our wall at home, and it's a beautiful picture where they're smiling and you can always see their eyes just trace you across the living room. So I finally actually get to see them, right? So it's around 3:30, right? So the phone call happens and one of their servants say, yes, so we're coming around. And all I remember was they came into our house and they sat on this chair that we still have, and it's a wooden chair, so we put like a loy on it, and Satguru Pasha Ji sat, and they weren't talking at that time in the morning, and all they did was like they looked at me and they just done like an ishara and with their finger, and they were trying to say, yes, you need to tie like a dastar on him, because at that time I was wearing a ramal at the time. And yes, so they literally came to our house for 2 minutes, but it felt like they stayed for 2 hours. And once they left, the house just felt very peaceful, like and light. And then I remember going back to school on the Monday, and in the UK, you have to fill out like a diary, right? So what happened on your weekend? And I filled out in my diary, oh, yeah, God came to my house over the weekend, right? And the teacher looked at my diary and she must have thought, yeah, what is this kid doing at home, right? Who's this person that's you're pretending to be God, right? But then I could just sense that Satguru Pasha Ji were something just way beyond this world, right? You know, like the smile that they had, like the love that they showed. It was just magical. And to this day, I still have that diary at home, right? This was in 94, the Chonam and the teacher just put like a question mark on my diary saying, yeah, this kid might need to speak to someone, right? Right, God came to his house. But that's my earliest remembrance of Satguru Pasha Ji. And then I believe in 98, we went to Shri Pani Sahib, me, my mum, my dad, and my brother as well. And at that time, Ram's Rover was still being constructed at the time. So me and my brother, we started to play in the Sarovar, right? So like we're walking around it, splashing each other. Yeah. So just as you would do, like if you went to some kind of splash park, right? So we didn't know the difference, right? Right. So then Satguru Pasha Ji, like they came, like Mataji was there as well. Mataji was sitting on a manja, and I believe at that time they were also constructing a Pratap Mandir. I believe that's the big one, or is that Hari Mandir? Yeah. But yeah, so Satguru Pasha Ji, they were sitting there, right? There, right? So Mataji was sitting on the manja as well. And Mataji said to my parents, "Atusi bajo ete," right? Yeah, so they also like said that to you, like yeah. So me and my brother, we were so young and naive that we just thought, oh, okay, yeah. So you want us to sit, so we just sat on the manja with them, right? So we didn't know any better, right? So then my mum, like my dad, hey, yeah, what are you doing? Like you just betho. And then Mataji's like, koi na tika, like so they gave us some mishri, right? So they gave us some like sugar sweets, as they called it back then. And yeah, like it was never a case of like, oh, why have you done this? It was just a case of so much pyar and love, and yeah, that's my most earliest memories. And I believe that was 94 and 96. I believe they came to the UK 94, 96. I believe they might have came 2000-ish, like Shahid Aihone. but then I don't used to remember much of that. I believe at the East London Gurdwara was still being constructed at that time, and like I remember Sacha Pasha Ji was sitting on stage, right, and I must have been 10 years old at that time, I think, and I have a speech impediment, right? I used to have a stutter, so my dad just went up to like in a Seva and said, "Oh no, so we want to do like a Arzbinti," and then Pasha Ji must have said, "Yeah, just bring him up to the front." I've never been so scared in my life, right? 10 years old, like there's like Sangat everywhere, like in Pasha Ji just looks like an illuminating being, right? So you kind of like, oh, all right, where am I going right now? And Pasha Ji, like, I just looked at me and said, yeah, he should do Naam Simran. And yeah, that was the last time I saw them until I went to India many years later. And this is looking in the 2008 and 2011 era was the last time I saw them. But that's starting from the very start, and up to 2008, 2011 was the last time I saw them being at like an older age. Yeah, so when I went to Sri Pandi Sahib in 2008, we went for the Holla, and I believe the Holla would normally happen where the football ground is, and there's a massive tent there, right? So for me, this is my first time. It's very exciting, and I see like Sacha Pasha Ji like sitting on like the asan at the front. I must have been sitting at least 20 meters back, right? So normally like UK Sangat, they sit on the very front because the like Bharati Sangat, they normally get priority. So it's around 2 p.m. in the afternoon, like I'm sitting there, like I'm looking at Sacha Pasha Ji, yes, I'm just in awe. And then in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, Pasha Ji, like I'd love to have some kind of like darshan or like something. Yeah, I don't know what I'm asking for at that time, right? But then I'm just inquisitive, right? I know who they are, like, and what they are, but that young mind of mine just wants to see something, right? And in front of me, Sacha Pasha Ji's face starts to change. Right, so then I start to look at them like thinking, okay, what's going on? Is it just my eyes? Is it the sun? And in front of my eyes, Satguru Ji transformed. That's the word I'm going to use. They transformed into Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and then they showed me every single guru all the way up to them saying "Main Yaga," right? And then my friend is sitting next to me, right? I nudged him saying, hey, do you see that as well? And he said to me, see what? I said, Rande, Koina, don't worry, nothing. This is for me to see. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, this must be the sign that, yeah, you are at the right place. And so they literally showed me every single roop of Satguru Nanak Dev Ji, right up to them. And then when they came back to themselves, just smiling at me, like a nice little grin with a sparkle in their eye, and I was like, okay, wicked. Wicked. That was my memory there. Then moving on, 2011 was the last time I actually saw them, right? I believe at that time they had Sevaks were taking care of them, and koi bhajan blasni kar de sige. So like some of the boys, like you're from the UK, so we had gone like Holla again, and I don't know how I was hanging around with my friends from East London. There's a very lovely family, Steelman Huniyage, and their kids are my friends, and I met them in Sri Pandi Sahib, and then we were hanging around, and they had some very close links, and they would manage to get to like the koti, right? And they said to me like, yeah, do you want to come as well? And I was like, yeah, like, yeah, sure, why not? What is that? Yeah, I didn't know what that even was at that time. And yes, I managed to get into like the koti, like you done darshan, and it was just wicked. And Satguru Ji was sleeping at that time, right? So we just we matha teked, and we went inside the koti, and it literally felt like a maze, right? Yes, I don't know where I was, but it just felt like a magical place. And we done darshan, and then we came out, and then I left that premises, and then I saw some of my other friends, and they were like, oh yeah, so we're going to like the koti, like ye tu bhi aa ja. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I just had a great time in there, right? Yeah, I want to see them again. Right? So then I just somehow I just managed to get in there, right? Yeah, I don't know if Satguru Ji was saying, yeah, I like the Baba Saja. And yeah, so my friends are about to leave Shri Pani Sahib to go to the next part of their trip. So they wanted to get Agya to leave, and Satguru Ji is sleeping, and I believe it's Rashpal Sevak. He said to Pashaji, oh yes, so these kids are about to leave, and they want to have your darshan. And Satguru Ji, out of nowhere, they woke up, and their eyes were a bright sky blue. There was so much light that was just piercing through their eyes. All three of us just stood there in absolute awe, and it was as if someone switched on the light bulb for the sun. So much light just absolutely just beamed out of their eyes. It was a bright blue, like is it Christian Bhagwan? Right, yeah, so they're blue, are they? Right, yeah, so it was that kind of a hue, and it was absolutely magical, right? So they literally just stood up, looked at us, and Jao, and that was it. But all three of us were just standing there, just in absolute awe, and that's my memory of Satguru Ji. And then 2-3 days later, I was about to leave, and again happened to just be at the right place at the right time, if that's something that you believe. Right, yes, if it's Satguru Ji doing it, I don't think there's anything such as coincidences, right? So I was meant to be there. So again, I managed to get inside, and it was just me and Pashaji in the room, and I saw them sleeping. So what I said to Rashpal Sevak was like, yeah, don't wake them, I'll just do my ardas. And yeah, Satguru Ji's foot was placed at the bed, was placed at the base of the bed, and I matha teked it, and they literally they wiggled their toes on my forehead, and that was a sign, yeah, like you can go. And that was the last time I saw Satguru Ji.